Okay, so here is my video for my paper prototype for my game concept Brainstem. And as you can see, I created the game board here using Microsoft Excel. And I just thought it was a really great way to create like a grid based game far more easily than drawing it all out. So I did this and I printed it out on 9 sheets of paper and taped them all together, as you can see here. Well, this is the end state. Here's the beginning state of the game. You have the player starting position over here. All of the enemies are placed per the layout of the game, and then you have all the items and upgrades and imbuements and player abilities and everything there. And so once you receive or once you obtain one of these upgrades or imbuements or whatever, you place them down here on the game board so that you can keep track of what you've obtained so far. And you can see that in the end state of the game here. This is actually from my sister and her husband's playthrough of the game, where they acquired all of the upgrades and all of the abilities and everything, which I thought was great to see that they actually took an interest in exploring the map and wanted to get everything. That was a really cool thing to see. And so they also had a lot of fun playing it, as did I when I played through it myself. So that was also great to see. And so as you can see, at the finished state, they made it up to the boss room. They had received all of these, or they obtained all of these upgrades and everything, and they fought quite a few of the enemies, leaving a few of them behind, including this one up here, which was one of the things that I thought was cool. They when they made it up to here, they decided to just plan on jumping away from this enemy before it could see them and attack. So that was interesting to see, something I hadn't thought of. So that was kind of cool. And yeah, so the way that the game works is that the player starts here. There's all these enemies on the board that they have to fight. Some of them they can avoid, like these two over here, and like the one that I showed you that my sister and her husband avoided up here. But there's a couple things that the player has to get in order to make it to the boss zone, which is this double jump upgrade, which they need to make this jump here. And also the imbuement, which they need to open the imbuement gate, which is right here that encloses the boss area. So everything else is optional, but it was great to see that they wanted to explore the whole map and get everything. So I also provided them with this icon legend, and these are like the sprite sheet that I used to cut out all the pieces. And I used Dolly to create all of these images, which was really helpful. And I provided them with these instructions, which I'll have in my document that I'll submit, and this icon legend so that they could understand what all of the components were on the game board. And then they used these 20-sided die to track the player health and the enemy health. And they used the 6-sided die for the combat, as is all explained here in the instructions. So they really were able to easily understand the instructions, which was great. I didn't have to do too much additional explanation. So that was good to see, so that they really understood what the purpose of the game was and how to play it. And then let's see what else. So after they play tested it, they gave me a lot of, or during the play test, really, they gave me a lot of great feedback that was really helpful. One of the things that both they and I noticed was that it was not really very challenging. The balancing of the player and the enemy power was not very well balanced. So most of the suggestions were for increasing the challenge, such as increasing the enemy health from 15 to 20, decreasing the armor from the upgrades, decreasing the amount of damage the imbuements do, things like that. So that was really helpful and gave me a great perspective on how to build out the actual digital prototype. So it was really an invaluable experience. I really enjoyed doing it. I had never really heard of paper prototyping before, and wasn't aware that it was a popular thing that game developers did. And I can really see the value in putting together a paper prototype. And so yeah, it was very helpful. I gained a lot from it, and I have a lot of feedback now to use when I create the actual digital prototype. And it was also a lot of fun. It really flowed pretty well, the game did, and really solidified some of the concepts that I had going into it, and also helped me to fine tune a lot of the concepts and balance of the player and enemy power in my mind, so that when I do go into creating the digital concept, I'll have a better idea of how to build it. One more thing was that I included this EMP special attack upgrade, which both I and my sister and her husband obtained, but never used. So I just thought that that was helpful to see that it was really just kind of an additional mechanic that's not really necessary. So I will remove that from my implementation going forward, and just focus on keeping it a little bit more simple and focus on the core mechanics of the game. So yeah, that is it, and thank you for watching.